Okay. So now we have Franco Gattinoni, who is the chairman, the president of Gruppo Gattinoni, and he's also representative of an important professional association, FTO, Federation of Organized Tourism. Thank you.
Eccoci qua.
Okay, here we are. Welcome. Thank you for having me here. Well, I'd like to break the ice, with a question about the structure of your group and how did you come up with this structure? Well, Gruppo Gattinoni is today the most important independent group when it comes to organized tourism. 42 years ago, we were born 42 years ago, 870 employees and staff members. We work on 3 different business lines: travel, with the internal product and the sales network, 1,500 agencies, 1,500 affiliated and 120 owned by us. Yes, you sell your own products and also distribution products, right? And then business travel for distributions and events, which is the third pillar. Logistics and communication, and specialization on healthcare, which is the medical part, so to say. So we have 8 different headquarters in Italy, one in Milan, for example, and then we also have Turin and also Monza, Treviso, Bologna, Parma, Rimini, and Rome. 120 points of sale throughout Italy, and these are owned by us. You have a very high turnover, right? This is gross one. 2024, how much was it? 2024, we are closing the financial statement, on Thursday, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we are talking about 740 million turnover. Well, how is it distributed between these 3 pillars? 40% tourism. So agencies, right? Yes. 35% business travel, and the events part, which is the remaining part. The margin, the margin is a little bit higher, even if the figures are lower. In terms of markup, this is a particular structure. How did you come up with this threefold evolution? Well, what was the starting point? Well, I was a travel agent at the very beginning. For 40 years, I worked as such. I thought, there is not so much business in travel agencies. I then specialized in incentive travels. I started traveling. I was very active on an international level, and then communication and events. We specialized in all this. And then after giving up my role as travel agent, I started opening up some new agencies, 5, 6, 7, and then we also built up a network. You are the biggest one in Italy, right? Yeah, in terms of distribution, sorry, yes, of course. Even if we've got another network, another group actually, that is active in this sector. Well, but we are the first one in terms of size. And as an agency, do you have any projects in the pipeline for foreign countries, or you are mainly focused on Italy? We are in Switzerland with another important company. We are focusing on Italy because there is a lot of things to do here. There are a lot of things, but then we are also trying to open up to foreign countries. Well, first of all, we need to get done and to be done with all what we have been doing up to now. Well, the 40th anniversary was celebrated last year, but this is a longer anniversary. This was a big startup, right? 850 people. Well, during COVID, this was kind of a catastrophe for all of us. Well, everything dropped, and then we were closed for 3 years for proximity tourism, as we call it, local tourism. Then, well, it started after a while, but international tourism, incoming and outgoing tourism, this dropped. It was closed during 2022 and 2023. Well, in 2023 we started again. Well, it was a very difficult rebirth, restart. In 2024 we had to change all our first line projects. So, and then, we have a new CEO for the travel part in our company. We had to change our managers. They were too old. We wanted to hire younger people. They are like 40 years or something like that, 40 years old. Well, and then after COVID, the structure changed radically. Yes, we are very, very satisfied with what we have been doing. Well, in 2023, we also had an important acquisition. In 2022, actually, well, we focused on EBITDA results, and then we wanted to fill up our funds, so to say, after these difficulties we went through. And then 2024 we had a new startup. We started with new projects. We needed also skilled people with different skills. I can figure out, like a company starting today, they cannot start with 60-year-old people. We need to start with younger people and also new companies. Well, we are full of energy, and these also helped you improve your technology, right? Given that tourism has changed. Yeah, I started with human resources because our assets are human resources, are people. Well, we don't have any facilities. Well, we are really focusing on people. But the biggest part of the work we did was about administrative stuff. This was a huge commitment on our end, and this also allowed us to move forward. We also carried out a lot of investments in terms of technology. And then, sometimes this is quite difficult with our suppliers, with our providers. There is not so much know-how in our sector. We have, some new search engines, but it's really about suppliers. There is a lack of suppliers. So we were ready, but we didn't have enough suppliers. But we are working on that. Well, what about Italy? Is there like a turnover in terms of suppliers, or are there any like ancillary activities coming from that, or are you maybe getting in touch with international partners? Well, half and half, actually. We have some international suppliers. Well, but we started recently using different technologies. We are trying to apply them to our business. So we recently organized a call, and I think that the situation has changed vis-a-vis some years ago. Well, at that time, like travels and journeys were completely different, and people were saying, no, people don't want to travel anymore. No, I don't think so. I mean, there is a lot of business. So there is a new life, right, for travel agencies. A new function, or where do you see this potential, or how we add it? Well, there has already been a change, a paradigm change, so to say. This was quite important, and now it is about changing the relationship between the tour operators and agencies. Well, we wanted to think out of the box, and this was like charter travels, and when we wanted to work on different projects, the agency plays a key role. We do have a platform today that integrates everything. We saw it beforehand, so we don't have to have like 50,000 platforms and new platforms. But if I go to a travel agency, I can't have such a service at home, right? Well, there's a big difference actually, because we need consultants, we need assistants, and what is more important is that we wanted to create kind of a tourist package. It is really a regulatory aspect. It's not just something static. Or, I mean, if I have like a charter flight, then this is like a tourist package, a holiday package, and that's it. But if I have a low-cost flight, but if I go to a travel agency, and if the flight is cancelled, if it doesn't, if it's scheduled but it doesn't take place, etc., but my holiday is guaranteed. So there is a lot of communication, in my opinion. And we have some new players from other sectors that are quite strong, but everything is changing little by little. I can also give you an example. Yesterday, at dinner time, I was talking about something that we take for granted. Some month ago, I had like a box of chocolates that I brought home, and there was like a family from Tuscany. Well, he is a professor, well, a medical professor. His wife is a teacher. They have 3 children. They are never able to organize a holiday together. 5 days in Valencia, Ryanair. Well, this is something that everyone can afford. Well, Florence, Valencia, direct flight, but they wanted to hire also a car, to rent a car, just to go around. And then the flight was cancelled. If you have booked it in advance on your own, well, what can you do? You have paid for the rental, you have paid for the hotel, you don't leave, and then 5 days with your family, you don't want to miss them. What happens? Well, then we book. If you book with a travel agency, well, you can leave. Well, you don't leave from Florence, but you leave from Bologna through Amsterdam, via Amsterdam, and then Valencia. I know this is something different. Well, it is much more expensive for me as an agency, but you can do your trip, and you can leave at 7 a.m. in the morning from Bologna, and then he went via Amsterdam, and he went there. He got to Valencia. So this is really a package, and that's the reason why he brought me this box of chocolates after coming back. These are values that almost nobody has nowadays. So there is a future, of course, but we need to give a boost, to this kind, to the way in which we do business. You are also president of the Federation of Organized Tourism, right? What is your vision about the markets? What are the new trends? Everyone talks about tourism that is doing quite well. Well, figures are quite promising, I have to say. Well, we do have as FTO, which is the Federation of Organized Tourism, we have all the data about, flights and holidays and reservations, etc. Well, in terms of figures, we are more or less the same level, but the turnover has gone up. We have a lot of additional costs. We can't hide that, right? Okay, we know that everything is much more expensive, and this is quite an important moment for the services. And now I think that, it's not skyrocketing anymore. Tourism is doing well, yes, of course. I think this is one of the basic goods. If I think about the future, I would like to spend my money in the future, healthcare. Then after eating well, and today we try not to exaggerate. We need to have healthy food, we need to eat well, but anyway, we don't have to exaggerate. And then what is important to me, I love traveling, I love going abroad, I love doing the right holidays, spending more but feeling well. So this is really paramount nowadays. When it comes to saving money, some years ago, people used to say, I'm even cleverer than you because I spent less than you. But I think that the future is quite bright for our sector. We need to set up and we need to create a common system. When I talk about tourism in Italy, it's really about that. We wanted to use all our assets. And this is the idea of being all together. And then after me, we will also have someone talking about NEOS, for example. And there is also a new partnership for charter flights with Alpitour, etc. But anyway, we also had ITA. And then we don't have, we cancelled and eliminated 12,000 employees. The company is profitable. Everything is good. We have new planes and aircraft. And then we gave it to Germans. Last question. What about the Gattinoni Group in the next few years? We are organizing a 3-year plan. And, I think there will be a lot of growth in the next 3 years. We will be growing in the events world with a very old acquisition, and then also our owned agencies. We need to speed up, and we will also work on our business strategies. There will be an internal growth, our GDP or the profits. Our companies, I'm very satisfied with them in terms of organization, in terms of commitment, in terms also of projects. In the next few months, there will be a very nice part of our business. Second part of 2025 will be very interesting. Thank you very much, and well done. Thank you.